Hey guys, and welcome to Pixel Cherry Ninja's channel. Guess what? The Analogue 3D has received a firmware update. We now have 3D OS version 1.2.0, and this is definitely a welcome addition. There are heaps of changes, a massive list, and we'll talk about some of the updates, some of the fixes, some of the bug squashing, and some of the improvements. The biggest thing, for me at least, is the compatibility with the NSO, the Nintendo Switch Online Controller. It's a controller that I very much so like. I used it on the Mr. FPGA core, and I know some people say it's a little bit laggy, but for me it's absolutely fine. I mainly feel like latency and lag when it comes to like 2D fighters or 2D shmups. On the Nintendo 64, most games for me feel okay, and I always wanted to play with that controller because honestly, the 8-bit though controller that is supported by the Analogue 3D, I'm not really a big fan of it. I find the D-pad to be inaccurate, and I find the analog stick to actually be okay with the Analogue 3D, but when I try it with something else, it's not great, right? So that's really good. Definitely a good move, and hopefully it will win Analogue some goodwill with the consumer, especially with a lot of consumers still being upset. And I still speak to people and they're like, we hate the fact that we waited such a long time for it, and then they released the limited edition colors. People still bring it up, but this is definitely a good move because there's a financial incentive for Analogue to keep the 8-bit though controllers working because it's proprietary and they've got some kind of stake in there, right? So this is definitely something that's really good. Or maybe they've sold enough controllers and they thought, hey, you know what, let's give the people something of what they want. So here's a tweet that Analogue put out earlier. So 3DOS 1.2.0 available now. Progressive mode, NSO, N64 controller support, a library game they added, plus gameplay time tracking and tons more. And really, there really is tons more. If we have a look at the actual page, you can see it's absolutely massive. Look at the notes down there. We'll go over some of the stuff over here, some of the stuff that we think is kind of important. Before we do that though, guys, the NSO controller, if you're unaware of it, I think they go for like a bit more money now. I don't know if you can still buy them from Nintendo, but I bought one to play with the Mr. FPGA core, and it's one of the best purchases I made. I think I paid £40 for it, and if they're not available now, they'll probably go for a bit more money. It's just a really good controller. It feels like the original Nintendo 64 controller, and it's my favorite way of playing. I have Snack available for the Mr. FPGA. I've got like 4 original N64 controllers. 2 of them are still in like really good condition. So it's amazing that we have got this. This is something that I wanted, and you guys in my other videos said, yo Pixel, you know what you can do? You can actually buy like a little dongle, you can place it in your Analogue 3D and play. And I was like, I'm spending too much money on so much stuff, maybe I should hold out a bit, and I'm so glad I did. And now that we have official support, I definitely want to check this out on the weekend. I'm actually staying late at work in order to do this video, and then I'm going to move over to the weekly news video, but I am going to update my Analogue 3D at some point over the weekend. I haven't tried out the update yet. We're just going to go over what Analogue are telling us. So let's go over to the actual project page. Let's pause this, but this is a really good controller. If you can get one at a reasonable price, guys, go for it. I can't recommend it enough. It really does feel like you're playing Nintendo 64. Absolutely superb. A lot better than the 8-bit though controller. I'm not a fan of the 8-bit though controller. I've made that clear. It looks really good. The D-pad on it just completely sucks. So many false diagonals. Okay, so over here, general compatibility issue with some 4K displays and switches. Now, I remember some people saying that the Analogue 3D wouldn't work with their 4K display and they were having issues with it. It works fine on my 4K display. I never experienced that issue, but it looks like Analogue have acknowledged that and they've put some kind of fix in place. Then what we got? Fixed issue with corrupted OS graphics. Okay, that's really good. Some people had that. It was down to like a cheap micro or memory card, I should say, that Analogue were using apparently. And when you use a better branded SD card, it worked. But okay, at least they've got rid of that corruption with the graphics that some people may have experienced. I definitely did not experience that myself. Okay, so compatibility issue with HDMI CEC eARC. Okay, if you're having that, hopefully that's resolved. Issue with audio clipping and saturation. Again, I've had a really good experience with the Analogue 3D. The only thing that I've had a baddish one with is the actual 8-bit though controller. With the 8-bit though controller, once you're in game, it works. It doesn't disconnect or anything. But in the Analogue OS or the 3D OS, I was always having issues. So what exactly is up with the core? So core added CPU feature, MI repeat and eBus, okay, issue with CPU code, okay, lots and lots of stuff there. I'm not gonna go through all of that. Okay, let's have a look at some with the OS, but guys, do have a look at all of this for yourself. If I read all of it, then it's gonna make for a long, dull video, and that's why I try and give you guys some eye candy, and we've got 1080 snowboarding running there. Just having a quick look to see if there's anything that's super important. Okay, what's this? Fix issue with disabling expansion pack affecting Space Station Silicon Valley, the USA version. So that's really good. Individual issues with games are being addressed. So fix video cropping effect called Gauntlet Legends. Gauntlet Legends is a surprisingly fun game. So what have we got with the operating system new? The library now tracks and displays total playtime per game. Okay, that's cool. I don't really bother with that stuff, but hey, I know a lot of you guys actually like that. The library now shows when each game was added. Okay, good stuff there. Added a special thanks section to the about menu, and hopefully they are thanking you guys, the consumer, the customer, for buying their products. Okay, a library info now indicates expansion pack and controller pack support. Okay, now force progressive output, which is still in beta, and there's all more information about that over here if you do want to check it. I mean, I'll leave the links in the description, guys. Do check it out. Improved auto overclock behavior. Okay, that's cool. Cartridge detection. Okay, these are all the improvements. System boot time, OS visual polish, force original hardware setting to disable 32-bit color, reset to default hotkey in configure menu is now mapped to C up. Okay, that's cool, because the C buttons, I think you move it right to go into settings, and so that's cool. So another use or another kind of shortcut there to get to somewhere quickly. Improved library information accuracy for multiple games. Improved general stability improvements. It's really nice actually seeing Analogue like really supporting this product. I mean, he is definitely on the Mod Retros coming out in a few months, and I think Analogue may just get so far ahead with this, especially given the fact that they're not out of stock. You can go onto the website and you can order one now. I did actually check yesterday, so amazing stuff. I mean, I'd love for like you know, ROM loading from an SD card to come with some kind of OS update or some kind of jailbreak, but hey, until we get that, it's nice to get these updates. Okay, what we got here now? Okay, this is the big one for me. New support for Switch Online N64 controller. Guys, this is amazing. I never thought Analogue would do this, but they have, and amazing. I think I wanted to play some Dreamcast on the weekend, but I might end up doing an Analogue 3D live stream using NSO, Nintendo Switch Online controller. Okay, what's this over here? New 8-bit Dowdle N64 mod kit now supports switching between Virtual Controller Pack and Rumble Pack, if that's your thing, chicken wing. New automatic reminder when 8-bit Dowdle 64 controller is out of date or not in D mode. Okay, I guess that out of date maybe if the firmware is too low, it gives you a prompt, and having it in direct mode. One good thing about the controller there, I've got it set with my Mister on Bluetooth and the Analogue 3D, and putting it in D mode and whatever with the little flick on the back, the little switch on the back. When I flick it, it lets me swap between without having to pair it. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so what's this? Notes over here. The last stage of the OS update may take several minutes, and the system may reboot during the process. Forced progressive output may not be fully supported with certain games, such as menu screens that use field rendering. Some games may exhibit graphical issues when this feature is enabled. Overclocking may improve the performance of this feature. Okay, the added library date time may not show correctly until the game is removed from the library and re-added by inserting the game cartridge. All game configuration settings will be automatically restored. To ensure library info and virtual controller back is saved, quit the game by opening the in-game menu and selecting Quit Cartridge. If Analogue 3D is powered off while a game is running, any changes may be lost. So guys, what do you think of that? I mean, Analogue put this tweet out. I didn't know this firmware was coming, so it was definitely a nice surprise, especially when I filmed a whole bunch of footage now. I'm gonna have to film it again. Never mind, I can do that again. It's just the side-by-sides with Mister, and maybe I can run it again. But again, this controller is really good. That's the biggest thing for me. I really do like this controller. I got it, and it's you know when you buy something and you're happy with what you bought, it feels nostalgic enough if you played with a Nintendo 64 back in the day. And I feel like this is a very good modern controller, and that's the biggest thing for me. It's compatibility with this controller, and naturally all the stability fixes, things that just make the user experience better. So guys, with that, I kind of end there. Let me know if you've updated your Analogue 3D. What have you found? Have you found everything to be hunky-dory and dandy, or have you found issues with it? Do let me know. Like I said, I haven't updated mine. I'm staying late at work. It's kind of like what I do. I'll get a bit more peace and quiet here. I've booked a meeting room for myself, and after this I'm going to do the weekly news video. But that's kind of it, guys. Be freaking awesome to one another. I'll definitely check back once I've actually done the update, maybe do a video, maybe do a live stream. But yeah, be freaking awesome to one another, guys. This is Pixel Cherry Ninja